Did you ever think in the however many years you've been watching the Dragon Ball franchise, from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, the movies, the TV specials, that you would see Super Shenron? It's almost like a Super Saiyan Shenron and shit like that. You never thought you'd see that, did ya? And I'm just like flabbergasted at the monstrosity that this dragon was in this episode. To be honest with you, this episode, it was one of the ending the arc type of episodes, but it was ending it in a very fashionable way. It wasn't just like, okay, you know, everybody go on home now, see you later and shit like that. Like, first of all, you have the king of everything, or the lords of everything, whatever sub you want to go by, whatever, you have him showing up, and for him to make Beerus the god of destruction and Champa the god of destruction both shit themselves, piss themselves, look like they're fucking scared to death, when these are two beings, that are stronger than Goku and anybody else that we have in our Z Warrior cast. Like Vegeta, Goku, all of them pale in comparison to Beerus and Champa. Well, not pale. I think Goku is slowly approaching Beerus's power. But if these people are under them, and these two are shitting themselves to this little motherfucker, which, if I'm correct, the hilarious thing, I might be mistaken, but if I'm correct, the motherfucker that voices the king of everything is actually the voice actor that does Togepi in Pokemon. Hilarious, right? So they're shitting themselves, and I think Beerus even says a line that if he wants to, he can snap his fingers and the 12 universes will be gone. So it makes you think, is it that he's a strong fighter? Is it because he has a particular ability? He basically like has the keys to the 12 universes. If he wants, he could just like with the snap of a finger make them all explode and shit like that. It really makes you think exactly what power this little motherfucker have, because I mean, as far as fighting goes, he's too small to do anything. He's too small to fucking swing a punch. I mean, he has his bodyguards there for a reason, so it's not that he has just this raw power. I think it's an ability, maybe because he's been entrusted or whatever. Again, he's the king of everything. He's on top of all of it, so he has to have some sort of ability where it's like, you know what, the universes ain't doing right, it's not going according to plan, it's not doing what it's supposed to do, fuck everything, we restart it all. And it's crazy that we gotta set up for another tournament down the road. I think that'll probably be towards the end of Super, whenever we actually get to that point with all the universes. I think once we discover all the universes, either A, they'll do two things, Toei. Either A, we'll discover all the universes arc by arc, and then eventually have one big tournament, maybe with the last one that we never got to see, or B, if they want to just speed it up and say fuck it, or you know, people aren't interested anymore, we've still got like 5 more universes, but we're just gonna jump into this tournament and introduce them that way. Those are the two possibilities and why they introduce it like that. And I'm liking that with Dragon Ball nowadays. Obviously it's not only Toriyama, so it's a little bit different, but they're kind of setting things up way back so that when it actually comes, it's like, oh man, remember that? You remember when they set that shit up? It's like, it's kind of learning how to be a little bit more modern, because back in the day, Dragon Ball didn't give a fuck about foreshadowing. Toriyama was in the Great Saiyaman arc and still didn't even think about what was gonna happen next about Majin Buu and shit like that. So there wasn't really no true foreshadowing. I mean, maybe in Dragon Ball there was, and in the beginning of Z a little bit about Frieza and shit like that, even though still in the beginning he really didn't have Frieza thought of or anything like that. So it's kind of interesting that now Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball Super is setting things up for later events. And still a little bit more set up with the relationship of Kaba and Vegeta. I don't know if it'll be in a few episodes we'll go to Planet Saddle. Like that spoiler said, the amazing copy Vegeta episode 45. I don't know if that could be that, it could be something else, but you definitely see that he has a real strong bond with him. He's like, ah, Master, so we can go to Planet Saddle now. Don't call me Master. Okay, Master. That shit was fucking hilarious, alright? Like, you can see Kaba is really impressed, and he actually basically worships Vegeta, which is interesting because this is something that Vegeta's always kind of wanted. Somebody to look up to him like, you know, a true king and shit like that, or a prince or whatever. So he's finally getting what he wanted, and then it's like, it's weird to him because he never really had it, because he was a little kid when he was a prince, and then once he got older, his planet was gone. And I was actually shocked at the wish that Beerus made. I did not expect that at all, but again, that showcases Beerus' character. Beerus, really, there ain't no evil in him. He will destroy a planet if he feels need be, or if the people are just being super disrespectful or whatever. But like, even when Bulma was talking shit to him, like, you better not wish for anything bad, I'm gonna tell the king of everything. Like, if he really wanted to, he could just wish, I wish everything was over, you know, and that would be it, because the Super Dragon can do anything. So if he really wanted to, he could have done that. But the fact that he got Champa a Universe 6, you can tell that he cares about him, which is kind of interesting. It showcases the dynamics of their relationship. They'll fight, they'll fuck each other up, they'll make this big tournament, they'll tease each other, but in the end, even though Beerus won, he's kind of like a big brother to Champa. It's like, I won, but I'm still gonna give him what he wanted. And that kind of makes me interested as well to see what Earth in Universe 6 is like. Was it, you know, ravaged back in the day? Maybe it'll be ravaged again. Maybe there's, you know, some crazy people on there. I mean, the theories of, like, you know, the Universe 6 Saiyans destroying it kind of is out the window now, because we found out about Planet Saddle and Kaba, how, you know, they're not really evil or anything like that. that. So we'll have to wait and see if we'll ever see Earth in Universe 6, but I'm still hoping to see Planet Saddle. And I mean, the overall episode, it was a nice ending to the whole entire arc. I mean, it was very good to see the dragon and just how huge he was. I figured it was going to be two things. He was going to be astronomically huge, or he was going to be very laughably small. Like, I thought it was going to be either like, you know, tiny little dragon or humongous, and we got like a mixture in a way, because the core of the dragon was humongous. It was like swallowing planet Saturn and shit like that, but in the side of it and core of it, it was basically like the same size as like Shenron and shit like that. And I mean, overall, it was pretty fucking cool. It was a nice ending to the arc and getting into the next arc, hopefully with next week's episode. It was like, it was good shit, honestly. A very good episode, I felt. 7.5 to an 8 for this episode. Very good stuff. But let me know what you thought of this episode. First of all, what did you think about the super dragon? What do you think about this king of everything that basically at the snap of a finger can destroy 12 universes? What do you think about Beerus and Champa kind of bowing to him? And were you disappointed with Beerus' wish? I mean, personally, I didn't really care what he wished for. I knew he wasn't going to wish for the destruction of everything, because, let's be real here, like, is the Z-Warrior's going to die? No, obviously. And what did you think about the shocker that the nameless planet this entire time was the final Dragon Ball? A lot of people called that, so I wasn't really that surprised. And your overall thoughts of the episode? Honestly, cool shit. Again, like a nice ending to the Universe 6 arc, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.